Good evening to you all. And welcome. Welcome to the MedStar National Rehabilitation Hospital's 28th Annual Victory Gala Awards. Aren't we all, yes, of course, go ahead, clap. Aren't we all fortunate to be part of this great medical institution that makes challenges, opportunities, and then turns opportunities into victories?
Our first day on vacation, we went to the beach in Maui, and I was in the ocean. I dove in, misjudged the depth of the water, and hit my head on the bottom of the ocean.
I was traveling in the Pacific Rim. I had actually been to Fukushima doing some stories for the PBS NewsHour. And I had been very close to the melted down radioactive cores, and I thought I had done my risky bit for my trip. And I did a subsequent trip to the Philippines for another story on a genetically modified rice controversy. Finished that shoot, and I thought I had completed a very successful reporting mission. I was traveling alone. I used local fixers and drivers, but was a one-man band otherwise. And I was packing up my gear, and had a case that weighed about 60 pounds, and it fell off the top of the cart onto my forearm.
I had a head-on collision with a young driver, and it was close call. 45 fractures, a severe brain injury, and a coma. And I have the good fortune of being a good healer, and I survived.
It was about 3 weeks of blur, just medication-wise, but I remember my dad pulled me out of the water. I was just lying on the beach till the paramedics came and took me to the hospital that I was born in. So I was in ICU in the hospital I was born in for about 3 weeks, spent my 17th birthday in ICU, and it was a tough experience.
Over the next 24 plus hours, it didn't get better. It got more painful, there was tingling sensation, there was discoloration. It really turned ugly very quickly, and so I realized I needed to see a doctor, and through the hotel got connected with a good doctor, and he immediately diagnosed it as acute compartment syndrome, which I literally had to wiki that on my phone to figure out what I had, and I didn't like what I read at all.
I slipped into a coma, and I suspect there wasn't a lot of optimism when I arrived in the trauma center. After I exited the coma, as Dr. Yokelson said, they administer the Glasgow Coma Scale test. The lowest score is a 3, which predicts a severely injured brain with little hope of recovery. Often, a 3 predicts a vegetative existence, and my score was a 3.
NRH it's like a family there. I mean, the nurses, the doctors, the therapists, they all work together, and they all have the patient's best interests in mind. I mean, my physical therapists, Lauren Russell and Katie Seward, were instrumental in me not just being able to stand here today, but being able to sit. I mean, when I went to them, I could do nothing, and I was walking out the door 2 months later. And I owe a lot to NRH and what they did.
I learned pretty quickly about the resources at the National Rehabilitation Hospital, and was over there within a day or so of returning to the United States. And I knew instantly that this is where I needed to be. And in the course of my reporting career, I had seen other facilities in other cities. I'd done stories on prosthetics. I knew enough to be dangerous. And I also knew that I didn't want to have to be getting on an airplane for care, if at all possible. And so when I discovered this amazing facility with these amazing professionals right in my backyard, I knew that I was going to make it.
So what I would tell someone that was embarking on the journey of recovery, and what I would say is, it is a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's not something they put a cast on. 5 years later, I still notice I'm getting better. And the brain is a remarkably plastic organ, right, that can recover.